Let's talk a little bit about cortisol, uh,
Yeah.
and like how that impacts women.
Yeah. Cortisol gets a bad rap. It's not a bad hormone. It's actually an essential hormone. And this
Mhm.
kind of goes into what we just talked about with the all in or all out mindset and approach. I usually tell my clients, because similar, I have clients and I'm the same personality where, right, you're an achiever personality. You like to do everything well. And that's not a bad thing. But I usually tell my clients what makes you successful in your business or your career is going to be what's detrimental to you in your health. And you need to learn that balance between those things of when do I apply this and when do I pull it back? And cortisol is a direct reflection of the way that we live our life and we do things. Cortisol essentially is your stress response. It's your stress hormone. Every time that you have, something, cortisol is going to respond. Cortisol through the day should be higher in the morning because it actually is what wakes you up in the morning, and it should gradually decrease at night. And in exchange, you can start to see that melatonin come in the evening with that exchange of cortisol to help support quality of sleep. Now, your cortisol rhythm is going to shift day by day. So we do adrenal testing, but for very different reasons. When we're working with someone, you can't look at an adrenal test and think that that's what's happening with your body day in and day out. You actually need to judge by how is my body actually processing and using this cortisol? Am I in a chronic state of stress? Meaning like I've been living in this go, go, go attitude for a long period of time to the point that my body's like, hands up, like surrendering and like, I can't keep up with you anymore. You have not given me any rest. A lot of this can come back to your brain, your pituitary hormone, your nervous system regulation, and how those things can really come into play to helping to support. I tell our clients all the time, I'm like, if Jesus needed to retreat to do some restorative time, so do you. And
Mm.
you need to keep in mind that you were not designed to go 24/7 like we try to live in society. So you have to strategically put restorative time in your day. A good sign to tell that your cortisol may be an issue or the way that you handle stress may be an issue is if you can't sit down for 20 minutes and do absolutely nothing and be still. That's a really good sign
These are big
that,
dates, Brooke. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
okay. Um, okay, you just called me out. Oh, yes. Okay. So for the woman, I'm just putting myself on blast for all of you. For the woman who really struggles with that. Now, listen, I can slow down like if I have something to do, whether it's like journaling or reading a book, even that, that I like to give myself an hour of quiet time in the morning. But for me to sit and do absolutely nothing, like watching TV is a struggle for me. I've never liked to watch TV. So when my kids want to watch a movie, man, I really have to choose like this is family time. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But how do you help me, Brooke? Help me and my friends who are listening who are like, yep, that's me. The person who really struggles with sitting for 20 minutes and doing nothing.
Yeah, you got to start. I like what you said about journaling, right? Sometimes it's okay to start with having an action to do in that time and schedule that time. You essentially need to train your brain, right? So if I'm not used to doing nothing, then I am going to schedule time for me to go take a salt bath and I'm going to put my phone away and maybe I'll read a book when I'm in there, but something that's going to slow me down a little bit. If I'm not used to it, then I'm going to schedule time to sit and journal. And it's something that's going to slow me down, remove distraction, or I'm going to schedule time to go take a walk in nature and leave my phone at home. So the best way to start is to just train your body and your brain to slow down. When you are so used to being on the go all the time, the idea of slowing down feels unsafe and it feels wildly uncomfortable and you will struggle to do that. So you have to train yourself that slowing down is safe and it's okay. Because even if it's not a healthy thing for you, if you're so used to doing it, it's become the norm, your body has become adapted to that. So you need to essentially reteach your body to become adapted to something else instead. So give yourself time. I still struggle with sitting and doing nothing, but I'm easing myself into that. And it's going to take a little bit of a process. And don't put a pressure on yourself of how long that process needs to look like either, because the next question sometimes is, well, how long do I need to do that for? And when should I? And like, that's the thought process that's getting you in trouble, right? Coming back in. So start, and then you're going to start to feel when you're ready to make a transition into something different.